Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'll be doing a couple of razors today. One of my own Manchester razors and another one from Germany. Quite a pretty little thing. But before I do, I'll just show you 30-year-old, well probably more like 40 years old. This is my tailors, my trusty tailors of Bond Street, London. But as you can see, it's a bit like me, you know, it's a bit bald in the middle. So one of my friends in Australia who subscribes to my channel, does that remind you of? He mentioned that my brush looked a bit knackered, and lo and behold, this came in the post. Kent, and this friend of mine in Australia has sent me a new brush, which I thought was really kind, a pure badger brush. So I'm going to try this out for the first time today, and it's quite a lot bigger when you compare it to the old one and the new one. Quite taller. So I'm really quite pleased with this new acquisition. So if you're watching, Andy, thank you very much for this brush. You're very, very kind. I'll just soak it for 30 seconds and then lather up. This first razor I got off eBay. The handle was completely shot at, but the blade was quite decent. It's made by William Oates, 69 Thomas Street in Manchester, my hometown. Oh, look at that for a big front. Christ, I've been putting up with that thing of mine for how many years? And look at that. Look. Fantastic. I mean, a real luxury this today. Oh Christ, what a difference. Well, I recommend these brushes from Kent. Absolutely superb. Right, so crack on. So this is one of my own razors that I've had for years. I think I paid £8, sorry, £8, 8 English pounds for this. And I'm not too sure on the date, probably early 1900s. It's plain on this side. It's very, very clean. The scales or handle was made by one of my friends, Steve, in Manchester. Did a really nice job of that. And it's got feather. I don't know if you, I'll just step out of the shot. It says feather on there. I don't know if you can see. You can just catch it there. And the name and address on the tang. William Oates, 69 Thomas Street in Manchester. And I have to say, although I only paid a small amount of money for it, it shaves just as smooth as some of my like £200-300 razors. super smooth. I bought this razor for sort of sentimental reasons, if you like. I spent quite a lot of time when I was younger in Manchester, and Thomas Street is just up from Corporation Street, on the main street in Manchester. You go up past the print works up Shoedale, and then you turn right, and then that's Thomas Street. Pretty run down at the time, but now it's full of trendy bars. When I was a young lad, I discovered curries quite early, and there was a fantastic curry house on there, still there now today. More like a cafe for the work guys rather than a restaurant. The tables are bolted to the floor, and the chairs are bolted to the side arms, side of the tables ish. They've freed them up recently. People don't tend to nick the chairs anymore. But it's the same chef that was there when I was, I first met him when I was about 15, and I tried his lamb curry. It was absolutely fantastic. And last time I was in England last year, I went to try it again, and it's exactly the same, precisely the same taste. I've been a chef for 35 years, and my curries 30 years ago were nowhere near the same as my curries now. But this guy just knocks them out every day, the same. That takes some doing, you know, to get the flavour right every single time. You can order drinks there, any drink you like, so long as it's water. You just get the same old glass. So any of you guys who are watching this and know Manchester, give it a try. It's up at the top near the junction of Tib Street and Thomas Street. A green colour scheme. So that's one of my oldest razors, but I'll never part with it. It's absolutely superb. It's got no jimps or anything, nothing fancy, but certainly knocks out a good shave. So that's one from my personal collection. But I've started restoring a new consignment of razors that have just come in, and this is the first of the next few batch of razors. It's I have to get the pronunciation right on this. A Sanssouci, which is French for Carefree. Best Silver Steel. Now the story with this, if we can get it open, is that the company, there's lovely embossed, and the blade's got a little bit of gold etching left there. Now the story with this is the German company buy a single block of Sheffield Steel and they forge it straight from that block, and that's how it gets its name. It's got a nice 3-pin design, so it's quite sturdy. This is going for sale this weekend, and when you're stropping the razor, it feels really in your fingers like this, and your thumb feels really chunky. It's a right good chunky deep blade. So I'll just fix this lather on with my new brush. It wanted a bit of cleaning up. It was a bit pitted along the top of the spine and on this side, the other side. There was a bit on this side as well, but there's nothing much I could do. I had to do some very gentle renovation on that, otherwise the gold etching would have disappeared. And there were a few nibbles in the blade which had to be bread knifed out. But apart from that, it responded really well. Not immediate, but it responded quite well to resetting the bevel. And I've got about a week's growth here, and you can see it just ploughing through it. I'll probably give it a second pass later, but for now it just shows what the blade is capable of doing to a week-old beard. So I'll be listing this tomorrow, Saturday morning. Just going back to Thomas Street. When you go to the top of Thomas Street, it crosses with Tib Street. Another place of fond memories of Manchester. There used to be a pet shop on Tib Street. Quite a big sizable pet shop. And I bought my first ferret. It was a big polecat hob called Bobbin. And at the time I used to do a lot of shooting. Just ground game, you know. Rabbits and things. And ferrets are good for flushing the rabbits out of the warren. I got quite into it and got another one. This one was a blonde, proper ferret. And it wasn't long before the old fella, Bowen, took a bit of a shine to this newcomer. I call it cornflake because it's about the colour of a cornflake. And over the following months ended up with 34 ferrets because Bobby won't leave old cornflake alone. I'd clean them out every morning and I'd be flat cap on, and Bobby would run up my sleeve up here and he'd stick his face over like that, having a look, sitting on my cap. Quite funny. So the outcome of that was that I met some great shooting mates. Because I couldn't keep all 34, so I sold them all. And met some great guys. Okay. So there you have a nice German blade with a French name, made from the finest Sheffield steel. Quite handsome as well. There we go. All polished up now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you after the weekend. This weekend it's a Bikers Fest tomorrow down at the port of Corpor, where all the Harleys and Kawasaki's and all the bikes will be down there at lunchtime till midnight tomorrow at Snack Bar 64. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you next week. Bye for now.